Oh, hello. It's always
Hi.
wonderfully jarring. We should get like a star fade like you used to get on those 90s camcorders. You're you're
What?
you're you're s you're like, you weren't old enough to remember those. I don't know why you're giggling.
I'm so sorry, Jess. It happened to me again.
Oh, that you were deeply offended by me being incredibly correct.
No, I had us playing on another tab. This keeps happening to me.
Everything's fine. Everything's going to be
So I was
fine. Like,
hearing myself and you, and it was just like, wait, too many people talking
you'd be
about.
like, "This is too much glory. This is too much perfection. This is too nice." Speaking of things being too nice, what is everybody's favorite thing to do is housekeeping.
Yeah. Well,
So
if
let's
I'm
do a little.
absolutely. First of all, thank you all so much for tuning in today. It's such a joy to have yet another week of us learning alongside with you. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is Jess. I'm
Yeah.
Ramon. And this is the Bad Website Club where we're learning the web in a way that's, we hope, is approachable, fun, not
Lazy.
perfect. Late taking the words out of my mouth. I love it. Yeah, so a couple things before we get started. First, Jess, I'm going to start with a little reminder of our code of conduct. Folks,
Yeah.
if you're watching, we expect all of you who are participating, who are contributing, to please behave in a way that is representative of the community. We're here to make this a better space for one another. So please have a look at this. If there's anything out of sorts, please do get in touch with us. You'll find a contact method in that code of conduct.
Otherwise, Ramon will have to like kick you out and he'll be sad about it for a week.
I will be upset, yeah.
You'll be like, I'll feel really guilty.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hey, if you're participating in these spaces, we expect you to act right. Are there some other spaces folks can come hang out in?
Yeah, Jess, do you want to tell them about what we're
Um,
launching today?
Yeah, so we've got a Discord that we had been using for the boot camp. So there's already a ton of lovely, friendly, laid back nerds in there. But for the Bad Website Club, we've got a pre-existing community. So it's folks who've done, some folks have done a web boot camp, some folks have done a JavaScript, some folks are just excited to hang out. Um, but applying the code of conduct and being nice, it's a really good way to say, oh, hey, I'm stuck on this, or oh, what did that mean when so and so said that? And I think it's just a really, really chill way to get stuff done in a social environment. Yeah. Oh, do you have a link to that? Or should I erase you?
I already have it. Thank you very much.
And actually, how many people are in here?
Ooh, my
Oh,
goodness.
my goodness. There are a number of folks already in there. So you're very, very welcome, but absolutely no obligation. Okay, so we've just code of conduct. Oh,
Yep.
what's next week?
So, next week, due to public holidays, Jess and I will be taking the week off. So, we will not be having any live streams. So, we encourage all of you who are learning to also get some rest if you can, please.
Ooh, or it's a really, really good time to pick up a new non-tech book.
Ooh,
You reading
yeah.
anything?
Am I reading anything? Not at the moment. I'm trying to get my
Ooh.
stuff in order. How about you, Jess? May I ask?
I just blanked on so N.K. Jameson wrote this book, The City We Became. And I've really been enjoying that. Like I was gonna say, oh, I'll loan it to you next, but I think I've got like a chain of four people who are gonna pass it amongst themselves first.
Totally
So
fair.
if you're into
Still great.
magical realism, and is it magical
Ooh.
realism if it's fantasy? If you're into is it high fantasy if there's no elves? If you like New York and transformation, there we are.
What's the name again, please, Jess?
The City We Became.
The City We Became. Thank you. I will check that
Yeah.
out.
But let's loop and loop and loop and stop where we're supposed to stop, which is so we've been promising people no code or low code ways to make
Yeah.
websites. And
To
last
that
week you taught
note,
Markdown. Oh, sorry.
that's no, I interrupted you, Jess.
No, I interrupted you.
I wanted to use that opportunity. to talk about what we did. Um, Last week, when learning Markdown and making contributions to websites, I just want to shout out, if I may, a contribution made to our website.
No, there aren't folks making.
So, as you
Oh, that
know,
website's terrible.
I think it says
Yeah,
everything
that
it needs to
website's
say.
terrible.
Badwebsite.club. So, thank you so much to Cesium Tea for adding and recommending this paragraph you see here. Let me make it a little bit larger. Check out the source code for this website or propose changes to it on GitHub. I love this.
And for folks who are joining us who haven't used GitHub yet, it's not a problem. I was
Absolutely.
going to say it's like Flickr for code, but that's a very sort of. I can see our guests in the green room laughing at me because they're too young to have used Flickr. Uh, but
Speaking of
it's
our, sorry,
Instagram. Is it like YouTube Shorts? Help me. What's the like modern equivalent?
TikTok? I don't
Oh,
know.
because you can like remix
You
other
can,
people's stuff.
yeah,
Do you know what? I'm gonna go think about my extreme age and meditate on this some more. But if you haven't done GitHub yet, it's not a problem. After this season, what we're probably going to do next is do some more explicit teaching. And one of the things is going to involve coming in and have a guest teach us GitHub.
oh, that's going
Yeah.
to be great.
So, oh, Sylvia actually has a really, really good description for GitHub. So, what are we going to be learning about today? And while you do that, I'm going to use this as an excuse to take me out of the equation. I'll be backstage being a very mean moderator. But it seems like a great time to bring on the fabulous, beautiful, incomparable guests who have
Yeah.
a good modern way to describe GitHub.
Thank you, Jess. So I will bring on our two guests now. Hope they're ready. Here we go. Introducing Silvia Vargas and Gabriel Daltoso. Welcome. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Hello, friends. Hi, Ramon. Hi, Jess. And hi, Gabriel.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Jess. Hello.
It is such a joy to have the two of you here to teach us a little bit more tech today in a very building on what we did last week. But Sylvia, before I forget, Jess did mention you had a great comparison for what GitHub. Could you share that with us, please?
I don't know if it's a great comparison, but we can think about GitHub as a potluck party for code. So, you're
Amazing.
coding your website and then you're pushing it to GitHub so others can also, cherish it or at least have a look. What do you think about that?
I think it's wonderful. Everybody brings a little bit and we make something better out of it. I love that so much.
Let's hope that that's how GitHub exactly works.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I'd love to give you both the opportunity to tell us, what you're going to be. Well, not only what are you working on, where a little bit about yourselves, but also what you're going to be teaching us. And whenever you're ready, I'm happy to share your screen and have a go what we're learning.
Should we also say who we are? So
Please.
People know whether they can actually take advice from us.
I mean, I know they can.
Okay, thank you. Well, so my name is Silvia Vargas, and there's a W in my name, but it is pronounced as Sylvia. I'm Polish, and right now I work at a company called StackBlitz, which hopefully makes coding more accessible, more approachable, with our editors and small and big tools that hopefully make people just happier. Maybe we'll explore it more later on. One of them we will, that's for sure. I actually really love this little club. I mean, it's not that little, but I really love this bad website club. I myself, previously I worked at an NGO, and only then I went to a bootcamp that was 3 years ago, where I learned to code. I also taught at a bootcamp, so everything that you are doing here is so important and also really close to my heart. And apart from that, I also just really love your vibe. So I hope that I'm one of the most active fans, just watching you and rooting for you all. And then Gabriel is one of my wonderful colleagues. And Gabriel, do you want to introduce yourself?
Of course, thanks, Sylvia. Well, I am a front-end developer in Stackblitz. Well, we do some cool stuffs, really cool ones. And well, I am a lot of what we are showing today is like in my plate right now. So
Ooh.
any questions, suggestions, or anything that everyone can say, so please, you're the right guy.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you, first of all, for your kind words. I've been very excited to have the two of you here and teach us about Web Publisher, but also, to give folks who are, tuned in today the opportunity to ask questions. We'll be keeping an eye on them, making sure the questions are constructive and, of course, help us all learn together. So please, folks, if you're watching, this is a space. We've got all of the chats here. Please feel free to drop your questions there, and I'll be keeping an eye on them.
Yes,
So
bring questions and opinions and dreams and wishes. They are
I
also
love
very
that.
much, yes, they are also very much welcome here. Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. Let's I'll let you two take the command of the
Yes.
stage here.
So we were thinking that today we would that our contribution to the Bad Website Club would be a tool that we call Web Publisher. Maybe before we share the screen, maybe I will just tell you why I am personally quite excited about it, and then Gabriel doesn't have a choice but to be excited because he's actually building it. I think that, oftentimes when we are talking about tech and contributions to tech, everyone is thinking about just like writing code and stuff. And it's important, of course, to write code. But actually, oftentimes contributions to tech can actually be also without proper code per se. So for example, let's say you would like to edit a website or create, a new documentation page or edit a documentation page. So, ideally the fact that maybe you're not yet very skilled in writing code, ideally that wouldn't be an obstacle for you to just jump in, and I don't know, edit out typos and stuff. So actually, with Stackblitz, we decided to create something like that. And this something is called Web Publisher. And I'm very happy to share my screen now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what you're looking at here is our documentation page. And if you go, let's say, if you go to any page and let's say we just scroll, imagine that there's some kind of like typo here. We don't like that typo. I would click on edit this page, and this link directs me to the Web Publisher. So on the left side, you see the code editor, and then on the right side, you see the preview. So you see how it's loading. Okay, I thought, is this going to be the moment it breaks? No. So on the right side, you see the code editor. Here we have. Go ahead.
Sorry, Sylvia. I think you're sharing the tab with the Stackblitz docs on it.
Oh,
So
how can I switch it? Oh, I see. Thank you.
Sure thing.
So this is some. I didn't know that there's. Okay, I see. So now you can see. Now you can see this, right?
Yeah. Would you mind bumping up the font size again a little bit, please?
Oh, definitely.
And folks, if you're watching at any point, you think, oh, this could be a little bit larger, please let us know.
Yes.
I'll be here to keep an eye on that. So I'm very sorry if I interrupt every now and then, just with requests to make it a little bit larger.
Oh, I love that. No, please chime in, and also, Gabriel, chime in. And if anything that I'm saying doesn't make quite sense, please bring all your questions. Help me express myself better. So when I clicked on the edit this page link, what happened was we got a very simple editor. Instead of having to have this code locally on our computer, we actually got this in the browser. So it's literally just one click. And so right now, let's say we would like to say, why should I use StackBlitz? And let's add, let's find it on the right side. We have the preview, right? So this is how our website looks. On the left side, we have the editor, which is where we actually write code. And so let's say if I wanted to say, why should I use StackBlitz and add an emoji, I would, let's say, add this emoji. You can see that it is immediate. You can already see how your website will look on the right side. This is just an editor. I mean, this is a terminal. We can just hide it. So just for the better view. So this is just a nifty tool that actually helps you make edits and see how these edits look. I know that last week you were doing Markdown, and as you see here, for example, the syntax of Markdown sometimes can be confusing. Sometimes when we look at the two hashtags, we don't know exactly how it's gonna look. Should it be 2 or should it be 3, right? Or maybe 4, and so on and so forth. And so then you immediately see the changes you are introducing. So this is the tool we would like to introduce to you, and also to maybe contribute to the Bad Website Club. I think that maybe, Ramon, how do you want to go about that? Do you want to just like that we code, or do you want to code and we navigate and give you hints, or how would you want to go about this? Because now we have to use this tool to actually maybe make your website better.
Yeah, totally. I'm very excited about that. How about, does it sound good if I share my screen? We will try it out with Web Publisher for our website, which we already looked a little bit at last week, and sort of you guide me to create, I'm thinking a new page where that highlights perhaps our guests so far.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Let's do that.
Fabulous. Then thank you so much for this introduction. I really love, by the way, that because one thing I was doing last week when writing Markdown is I would write some Markdown and then I would click on the preview tab and I have to like scroll around a lot. So having it side by side here is something that I find really helpful because I get lost a lot.
It can just, especially if you have a very complex page, it can just make your life much easier, because whatever is happening, you can immediately see. And I especially have problems with Markdown. I mean, sometimes I'm writing something and only later I notice that, there was some mishap happening. So I myself am using Web Publisher a lot because it just makes my life easier. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So I can use it to make to work on our Bad Website Club website. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch out our screen. Oh, sorry.
Yes, I will stop sharing my screen. So Web Publisher is mostly for, it is for edits and updates, but we also have another tool which we can use to add files, add new websites. So
I'm excited
as well. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As always, folks, I might want to widen that a little bit, actually. Please, please, please let us know if we can bump up the font size. We've got an eye on the chat, so always feel free to speak up. Cool. I'm happy. Oh, you know what I realized we're going to be doing now? We're going to be doing pair programming, isn't it?
Yes. How exciting.
Pair or three programming, because I will be driving. That is, I will be doing the actual mechanical code or writing, and you two will be navigating for me. And folks, if you're watching in the chat, you will be our ensemble giving us suggestions and hints and opinions and questions. We want those questions.
Have you all already talked about pair programming?
We touched on it briefly when Jess and I made our first website a few weeks ago, which is a very, very bad website, but it was lovely.
I think that very, very bad websites are the future of the internet. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I will very happily be driving, and you two will be kindly navigating for me. So please feel free to tell me where to go.
Okay.
I'm on the GitHub page for our website, which you all saw last week?
So we can start with maybe trying to edit the main page, and we will
Mhm.
already notice that it is not working as you saw. It is not working in a way that you saw it previously, and so it's
Got
gonna
it.
be a bug. So what you can do, you can click on the index.html, the file.
Yeah.
And now on the right side, there's an icon of of a pen still, of a pencil.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, this means that you will be this is an edit view of this file on GitHub. So click on that.
Got it. Edit this file.
Yes. And so now we are in this edit view. And now we're going to do a trick. Are you prepared?
I'm very prepared. I love
Okay.
this.
So go on to the URL of the browser, in the browser tab. I mean,
Oh, at
and
the top.
Yes, and right in the very beginning, you don't have to delete anything. At the very beginning, you can write pr.new.
So before the HTTPS, is that
You
correct?
can, or even before github.com, both will work. But
Okay.
yes,
I'm
wherever
gonna
you
try. I'm gonna go before. So https://pr.new.
Yes, and now slash,
Perfect.
and that's it. Hit enter.
Okay. I'm nervous. I love this.
Da-da-da-dum.
Ooh.
You would need to bump up your zoom. Exactly. Thank you so much. So you see,
Thank
so
you.
the file already loaded. However, we don't see the preview.
Right.
So it's because actually Web Publisher was designed to be for more complex websites
Mhm.
to handle, very modern web. And because of that, we made an assumption that there will be always some JavaScript. And I know that you will get to that. But instead of just, teaching you now JavaScript in the remainder of, I don't know, 35 minutes, we can just do a small hack and just add a package. And what are packages? Packages
Ooh.
you're like you can think about it really like a gift, like a package, that you are giving to your website. You're taking it from somewhere else and you're giving it as a gift to your website. So usually the packages are open source, but
And what do these packages contain?
code. So they are when you're thinking about any kind of capability that you would like to add to your website, you can either build it yourself, or you can actually take something that already works that someone else built. Basically, tech is a huge just like a huge potluck party, as I said.
Love it. Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be taking a package of pre-written code from someone else, someone we trust, I would assume, that's been like this code, and putting it into our website.
Yes. So typically we would use something like for example, there are tools for that. So typically, let me think about this. There are tools like, for example, Vite that enable you to immediately see the preview of the code that you're writing. However, this is too advanced for the website that you have right now. So I would suggest that you would use a package that is called HTTP server. And that also, allows you to run a local preview of your website.
Got it.
So to do that, okay, what questions do you have? And also, Gabriel, is there something that you would like to add or maybe clarify? Maybe you saw the path I was following and you're like, I have a different idea.
Yes, please feel to chime in as well.
No, it is perfect. Just say we just need something. We just need something to do something to get something in the preview side, right? And that's all. So let's go.
Okay. So now
Fantastic.
we will actually need another tool. So previously, how have you been developing code? Was it locally and you were sharing like VS Code, or were you developing
We
your
have
website?
been doing everything on the web. So we first made a website on Wix. Then we made a website on WordPress.com. Last week we worked on Markdown in GitHub itself. So
Yes.
today we're in Web
That's
Publisher.
what I kind of recall. So we can actually take, we can already travel to the future for a second just to add
Ooh.
another file, and then that's going to be like a trailer of what's coming your way maybe in the future when you actually
Fantastic.
have some code. So, do you see an icon of 3 dots on the side of the editor in the Web Publisher? So
Yes.
there's
I will. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry, Sylvia. Just going to take
Okay.
2 seconds because we've got 2 questions in the chat that are
that.
related to packages
Oh,
that
I
I'd
love
love to bring in. So we've been talking about packages. Set Goal and Conquer is asking, how is this different from a plugin?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
to put it into context of what we've been doing so far, plugin in the WordPress sense was a bunch of pre-written code that we could put into our website to say, for example, allow you to make payments or make appointments.
Yes.
So how would a package be different from a plugin?
It's similar. I mean, it's really,
Yeah.
it's I would say it's the same. However, package is more when you are actually writing code, so plugins are given to you by, for example, WordPress or Wix or whichever provider, or Squarespace or whatever provider you are using for making, websites that come with a lot of predefined components. But we are now working with code directly, and because of that, there aren't that many. There aren't this kind of there aren't this how to say, I'm missing out a word, like this feature isn't available. So we are actually taking that plugin, but we are opening it, taking the code, and actually just inject adding that code into our website. Does that make
Got
sense?
it. Yeah, so we're sort of like as if we were copy pasting a bunch of code directly into our website.
Kind of, but that would be very tiring, right? Because if we are going, let's say, some of this, for example, to enable payment, that wouldn't be just one file. That would be lots and lots of different files.
True.
So instead of copying these files, what we are doing, we are going to just tell our website, hey, here is a name of a parcel. Can you find it for me? And then our website will do all that legwork. It will go look for the name and then take what the code that is relevant and just use it in our website.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Folks, please feel free to follow up because we got one more question about packages. Gabriel, if I may ask you on behalf of Kirk here, are package usually JavaScript or something more advanced than HTML?
A package could be something that you can reuse in your website. Let's see. I can have, for example, even images on there, but usually they are mostly as JavaScript packages because it is it's more common to use as JavaScript since you are in a JavaScript world, That's it.
Awesome.
I also wrote kind of explain it like I'm 5 blog post about packages and package managers. And so you could maybe link it if you would like.
I just did. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. So if anyone is interested in this, that being said, to be honest, it's up until I think last year, my knowledge of, or like even maybe this year, my knowledge of packages and package managers was just so basic. This is definitely not something you need to know to be successful in tech, like the interest or like nitty-gritty knowledge of what these are. You can just think about that as, you know, a plugin really, once you're writing code, just like a gift from someone else to your website that you can call on with its name.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. I also want to highlight what Tsukino Megami said here. Is it like packages add functionality and plugins connect to services? And if I may venture a guess here or attempt, I think they're not mutually exclusive in that way. And a lot of the time, these can be different names used for different things. For example, in a programming language that I started very early on in my career with called Ruby, we didn't call them packages or plugins, we called them gems.
Exactly.
So the naming can vary, but the concept is very similar. This package, this gift of code being given from someone else.
So we can actually take it just the high level would be exactly what you just said, and we can just say that it is a fair assumption to make about any programming language or tool that most probably there's gonna be some extension. There's gonna be a plugin. There's gonna be a package or gem, or I don't know what other universes, coding ecosystems have. But yeah, most probably you can just assume that if you have to do some kind of repetitive work, most probably, or like some very difficult work, most probably someone already has done that. In fact, our very Gabriel here made a wonderful package that helps you style your website in the vein of Windows 95. So if you are like a fan of retro kind of aesthetic, this is your gem. Yeah.
I will share that here for those who are interested, probably a little bit further beyond or hopefully we'll get there soon in the Bad Website Club. But if you're interested, just plug the code in there. Yeah.
Just for inspiration of what you can also be. This is an open source package, so you can be also, you can also look, for example, at documentation and correct typos if there are any. I don't think that there are because Gabriel is very detail oriented, but yeah. You can still contribute to, for example, this package without knowing how to code, which is tying us back to the starting.
Exactly. Thank you. Cool. Thank you all so much for asking questions, and of course to you two for answering them. Cool. Sorry, Sylvia. So triple dot menu.
Yes. So now so this is like a secret passage to the world of the real development. So let's click on this open in CodeFlow IDE. And this is also, maybe the view is going to be a little bit, I think you will need, okay. The view maybe will be a little bit overwhelming for folks who are not very comfortable with coding yet, but don't worry. This is something that you will become comfortable later on along your journey. So you see on the left side, there are different file names, different files. So those are exactly all the files that your website is, it has on GitHub, and also all the files that your website is using right now. So I said that we will add the package. That package will allow us to actually see how our website is rendered. So how our website looks, in the preview. And so also for everyone else, this is what you're seeing here. This is called an IDE, so Integrated Development Environment. And this is a code editor where usually, you would write code if you are writing it by hand. And so, so Ramon, what would you like to do? Would you like to, I know that you also had a different idea for this page, for this session, that you would like to add another page. So what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with adding a package, or do you want to start with adding a page?
Goodness. Let's see. Could one flow into the other?
Those are two separate actions, but we can do them at the same time. So yes.
Yeah, because I'd love to try out adding a Markdown page that then that we then of course use a web publisher to make.
Okay, great. So should we start with that one?
Yeah, sounds good.
So if do you see an icon with a file and a little plus sign in the corner? So it's a little bit to the top where you see the name bad website. Let's go
Oh
to
yeah,
So now
we've got a
we're
row of
gonna,
icons here.
exactly, we're gonna add a new file. So let's do that. And how do you want this page to be called?
I can't decide between Hall of Fame and guests.
Let's go with Hall of Fame. I mean, am I included there? If yes, then
I mean, of course, you all are. So that would be Hall of Fame, and this will be a Markdown file. Which, if we remember from our session last week, we'll have a dot, and then we'll tell it what kind of file it is. So we'll go with MB.
okay. And so maybe you can just also write just like something, just a title.
Oh yeah,
in the editor, just so that we know that whether everything works or not once we
And-
see it.
Hall of Fame.
Okay. Ramon, I noticed that you started with one hashtag and then you went into two. Why not just, both headers being the same number of hashtags? Explain it to us.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Thank you. Oh, Jess, you're muted.
Hi, Jess. Oh, I can't hear you.
I think you're hardware muted.
Oh.
She'll be right back.
This maybe was, a ghost from the future trying to warn us against something. Oh no, no.
Yes, sorry. So we've got what I've added here is a title and then a subtitle. And in something that we will definitely cover during boot camps as well, what I'm writing here is essentially called semantic HTML, where a document has a flow, you've got a title, and you usually use that big header for it. And then you've got a subtitle to tell you this will be a smaller header, not as important as the main header. And so it's a good idea for a document to have, of course, one title and several subtitles.
And so could we now add like a 4 hashtags subtitle all of a sudden? I'm trying to drive at accessibility.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's an excellent question. And I see that, Jess, you're trying to say something, but we still can't hear you, I'm afraid.
No.
Yeah, sorry, Jess, we still can't hear you.
Do you know what?
Yes.
Sorry. So this is actually old school tech support folks have there's a term called PEBCAC, which is that the problem exists between the chair and keyboard. And in this case, this is a very PEBCAC thing because my cat had hardware muted me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's good.
No, please leave. Please leave. Oh, don't take my. You know what? You live there now. I was just really excited because I teach the web development boot camps when we do them. We'll do one soon. So when you're asking Ramon, it's like, Ramon, why can't we have more than one top line header? I just wanted to jump in and be like, who took the web development boot camp? Who's going to answer this for me? I just wanted to jump in and be a mean teacher, but was appropriately thwarted by cats. I'm going to put myself back in jail and then I suppose scream at a cat.
Well, but you can also share your knowledge on this question that was posed.
Oh, I'm the laziest teacher ever. So I like to bully all of my learners to do it for me.
Yeah.
But the one I always think about, it's the thing you scream when somebody first comes to your website, like, hey.
Ooh.
And you can't just be screaming the whole time. I mean, you can, but that's a very specific mood.
Well, there's also there's that, but there's also that our website will be used by so many different people, and some of them will be using maybe some assistive devices, right, like screen readers. And in order to make it very easy for them to use and enjoy our website, it has to follow a few rules. And so one of the rules is that there needs to be only one, top level header. And then the other headers that you're adding shouldn't be like skipping levels. So you're doing one top level header, and then you can have as many as you want, the 2 hashtag levels, and then within them there could be, you know, a 3 hashtag levels, but not like 3 hashtags,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
I
just
always
to
think
make
about
sure.
it as sort of a separation of concerns that,
Yeah.
cool, here's the most important thing. And think about like chapter headings or when you get the
Yeah.
bullet points in a Google Doc, that you don't go number heading, bullet heading, and then you don't go like 5 in, that it's just sort of you use as many as you need. I'm going to go get, in our past boot camps, we had Parham Dostar come and talk to us about accessibility. I'm going to put myself back in jail and go get that video and throw it in the chat. Sorry to
I
interrupt
love
y'all. As,
that. That's
as soon as you were like, why can't we have more than one top line header? I was like,
Thank you, Jess. Super helpful as always. And if you remember from last week, folks, this is a little bit this is in line with what we were doing last week when we were adding alt text to our images, is so that when a device is reciting our website, there needs and this is sort of a great addition to that. So thank you, Sylvia, to have that context where these subtitles come in and in which order they come in order to be able to have a cohesive, I don't want to say story. I'm going to go with story. Story that our website tells.
Structure. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just
Perfect.
like so that you know how to navigate the website, so you're not confused. It doesn't look like a maze, you know. Like reading your website shouldn't be a mental exercise in, you know, coming out of the labyrinth. Yes. Okay. So should we go back to our editor now? So I noticed that there's this white dot on one of the tabs. That
Yeah,
means
I see it
the
here.
changes are not yet saved. So you can do it by just pressing Command S.
And if I'm on Windows, is that Control?
It's gonna be yes, Control S. Thank you.
Fantastic. Cool. That's saved.
So now it's saved, but we can. So we already saved these changes, and I'm just thinking how to get to the next point. Let me think for a second. So I said that all these files, they are actually also on GitHub. So now do you want to go in a different tab? Do you want to go to GitHub and just show us whether this new file that we just added, whether it's already there?
Yeah, sounds good. So that would be Bad Website Club, bad.
Because I said that GitHub is a potluck party where we are just adding new things, right? So now we added a new file and oh, that file is not here.
Right.
Oh no, we should do something. We forgot to bring our, you know, our file to the potluck party. So let's go back to the editor.
Yep.
And now
back
we're
here.
gonna do something that is called pushing to GitHub. So in the terminal, so that's the lower central part in here.
Yeah.
We will do 3 different things. First, we're gonna tell this editor to add whatever, you know, it's looking at, to basically to just add it to let's say the offering, right? So we're gonna do add and then full stop.
Cool.
So
can
I
and I can do that here in the terminal by typing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Git. You say git?
Yes, git space add space dot. Now enter.
Enter. It kind of sounds like I'm adding git add.
Yes.
Very commanding.
So we're gonna tell Git to commit this change. That means, you know, you already, our editor already sees it. Now we want to like label it kind of. We want to commit that change to our offering. So now let's do git space commit space -m. So now that means add a message, add a little message. So now open a quotation mark and let's say add Hall of Fame. And end quotation mark and enter.
Cool.
What does that mean? No name was provided for author in the argument.
Who's the author? Me, I suppose.
Okay. Should we try pushing it? So that means should we now bring our offering up to GitHub? So that would mean git space push.
Git space push. CodeFlow wants to sign in using GitHub.
Okay,
Can I tell it to?
I think so. What's gonna happen?
You can't see it on my end.
No.
Because I'm
Okay.
sharing my window, like a new window popped up to be like, hey, are you sure you want to let GitHub do that? And I said yes.
Okay, it says everything up to date. Should we just see what happened? Let's ask Git what's the status is. Git space status.
Okay.
Oh, so basically Git was like, sorry, I don't know who you are. I'm not taking any offering from anyone. We need to repeat all those 3 actions. But you don't have to type them. You can actually just press the up arrow on your keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
So one more.
It's
So you
cycling through my commands.
exactly through the history of your commands. So one more.
Okay.
Because first we need to say, hey, editor, notice this, what we are doing here. So we are adding, right? Okay.
Fabulous.
So now you can go up arrow up until the git commit. Okay. And now we will push it. So up arrow to git push. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. And we'll see what's going to happen. And we got some message that also points to some URL that happens to be your...
That's my GitHub.
Exactly. So now we can either like click on this, or you can just go to the tab where you have the GitHub open. And now refresh, and we'll see whether that file has been added. And we see Hall of Fame. High five. Woohoo! All
right. Awesome.
But we still need to add that package that will allow us to see, whether to see, how our website looks in real time. So let's go back to the editor.
So we're gonna add a new file here. No, sorry.
What? We can also do that if you want, or we can go to the editor we worked in previously.
Gotcha. Yes.
Now you again create a new file. You already remember how to do that.
So I'm gonna come up here to this bar, click on add file,
and it's going to be called package.json. J
as in
Benson.
Not the name. Not the name.
Like that. Without the
Gotcha.
This is a special file notation, object notation, but
cool.
We don't go into that to use it. And so in here, we'll
I've seen this file before a lot. Sorry, I interrupted you.
This file, I mean, you can actually put so much information in there, like, for example, who is the author of the page, what's the page title, and so on and so forth, that actually allows other people to understand your website better. Like, for example, if I'm looking, Bad Website Club, and I want to, see your website, Google search engine would also look into package.json, for example.
Oh, interesting.
Right? I think so, but maybe I'm just making this up. Gabriel, is that true? As the person who deals with packages. What do you pack in package.json usually? Are there any fun things you can hide there?
We can hide. We can say the package name.
Cool.
Right. So yeah, but the first thing we need to configure in this file is we need to follow the JSON semantic.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
That already sounds.
Which is different than Markdown file and also from HTML. So
cool.
It's a little difficult.
Feel free to guide me, and then we can sort of cover it as we go. I'll ask.
So you're going to need two curly boys, 2 curly braces. Exactly. And so how JSON is, you can think about it as the JSON file is really like a bunch of friends. So there are always pairs in there, right? So you will see. So if you could write in quotation marks scripts.
Like this.
And now outside of the quotation mark, you can do a colon.
2 dots.
Exactly. And now again, curly boys.
Like this.
And so you see, this is like a pair of the title, right? And the content of curly boys. I mean, in tech, it's called key value.
Gotcha.
but we don't have to call it this way. We can just make up names. And so now we're gonna just we're gonna just add a script that just allows us to run the preview. So in quotation marks, you're gonna write dev. That means
EV.
the development, exactly. But it also
Cool.
starts, sometimes people just say that we are devs, developers. And now colon.
So this is for devs.
Yeah, it's for the
Gotcha.
development stage of the page, really. So we are telling
Cool.
the website, hey, if you are developing this page, use the dev script. And so now in quotation marks, it's gonna be a little bit longish and maybe confusing, but just bear with me, and you're gonna see the magic happen. So you're gonna write npm.
npm.
Trust me on this, and then install. Oh, with double L. Yes, exactly. HTTP dash server space and
As an ampersand.
ampersand. Yes, thank you. And again, HTTP server, HTTP dash server.
Like this.
Yes. Try saving it. So Command S, or if you're on the Windows computer, then Control S. And
Fabulous.
so now, 1 second, Gabriel, do you think we should add anything else?
Oh, it's good. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So now actually, I can also just show you what's going to happen, what we just added, because, maybe you're curious about this code. So you can actually just copy this npm install HTTP server and HTTP server. You can copy and paste it inside the terminal.
Copy. Click.
Yes.
Yeah. Some key bindings don't go to the terminal. Do I want to right-click paste instead?
Yeah, let's do that.
Give me 1 sec.
Okay,
So
thank you.
right-click, copy, right-click, paste.
I'm
going to write this by hand.
Okay. Maybe there are some security things on your browser that you need to configure or something.
Some new files.
And now open preview.
Open preview. This one here?
Yes, exactly.
The service port is available on port 8080.
And so right now
it's my website.
Exactly, you already see your website. So that means that we have what we call it a server running, and right now whatever you change in your files will be reflected in this preview. So this is exactly the package we just added that enables us to see in real time the changes that we are making. So now last thing we need to do, we need to just push this offering, these changes to GitHub again. So in the terminal, you can make the terminal bigger, and now you can stop, you can kill the server, we call it, by clicking Control. Oh wow, I always do it intuitively. Control C. Does it work?
Control C.
Okay.
HTTP server stopped. Okay, exactly. Cool.
And so now let's just push the offering to GitHub, right? So
let me see if I remember how to do this.
Yes.
If I may.
Yes.
So first we'll do a git status to see like what's going on.
We could do that. Yes.
I got a node modules, a package log, and a package JSON.
So I think that's just to make it faster. We could also just delete the node modules and package.log.json, or we could create another file, but I also don't want to complicate it, meaning git ignore, just not to overcomplicate your website. So we can just delete.
Delete permanently. And it's okay that I delete these?
Totally, because every single time you run this command that we ran earlier, so npm install, you will get these files for free. So
awesome.
Yes.
So
it's good that we checked git status, because otherwise we would just like give GitHub something that it doesn't need. It's like bringing, like plastic utensils to a potluck party where, there are already utensils. Yeah. That's good.
Cool. Git add dot. Yes. Then git commit. Of course, we're not adding the Hall of Fame.
No, we are adding something else.
Why am I writing these?
Yes. So first you're telling the editor, hey, notice what we did. And then you're saying, so let's say let's describe what we did. So you added a package.json file. So that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you're labeling your gift.
Yeah.
Okay. Enter. And now git push. So we are saying now we want to bring it actually to the party. Okay.
Cool.
And so now how can we check whether it's already there? Whether we exactly. We would need to
we need to refresh here.
to see whether this file is here.
There it is.
Okay. And so now we can move. So what we did is actually we did really serious development. So first we added a new file, Hall of Fame, and we added some information there. And then we added another file, which is package.json, which is very serious development. And so now we're going to actually edit Hall of Fame, fill it with all the information. But to do that, we should first enable us to actually, let's see. I don't know. Let's see. I'm curious whether we are able to. Gabriel, how do you think? Do you think that if we go into Hall of Fame editing, whether we will be able to open it with a publisher? We'll see.
Should I give it a try?
Yeah, maybe go to Hall
Let's
of Fame.
try.
Click on the file, Hall of Fame.
Oh, right.
And now we go into the edit mode. First, you need to click on the pencil.
Gotcha.
And now pr.new.
pr.new /
Yeah, also without that, it would also work, but that's kind of like an Easter egg.
Ah, nice. So what do we got here? You are not authorized to access. You need to grant additional permissions to access CodeFlow editor. So I'll grant permissions.
I think so. Let's go. We'll see what. Ooh.
StackBlitz is requested. StackBlitz is the web publisher. That's all of. That's a lot of way too many organizations.
Yeah, you're very
authorize StackBlitz.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay, this is going to be a little bit awkward. This is going to be a little bit awkward, folks, because actually my phone is my camera and I need my phone for a second. So excuse me for just 1 minute as I give GitHub permission. This is awkward. I'm very sorry.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is super laid back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what's going on here is StackBlitz said, hey, I want permission to do stuff with GitHub. And GitHub says, cool, we can do that. That's possible. But you got to come and tell me that you're friends with StackBlitz. I'm not going to let just anybody come and play in your GitHub account. But if you give them an invitation, and this is sort of that, say, oh, do you want to give StackBlitz an invitation? You say, and what Ramona's doing is saying, well, yeah, I think I would like to give that invitation.
So currently, what we see here is that actually we have another website. We have another file open, but on the main file, on the preview, we only see the main website. So typically, you would need to do some kind of like a little bit of configuration to already open the editor on the left. The file. To open in the preview the file that you have on the left, right? And so what I would suggest is that we first create this kind of navigation on the main file. So that means you can actually, in the URL, you can change, you see that you have the /halloffame.md. You could replace it with index.html. So let's do it, as, in the URL tab, I'm sorry, in the browser.
Yeah.
So in here on the Hall of Fame, you could replace this with index.html. So halloffame.md would become index.html.
I did it.
Yes. And so first, let's take it just one step at a time. So first, we're gonna add some kind of navigation so that you can actually get to the Hall of Fame. You don't even need this terminal side on the preview. So because this is just like information on what's happening, on your website, we can just hide it. And to hide it, there's an icon that looks like a triangle and underscore, which is a terminal
Oh, yeah.
prompt. If you click on it, the terminal will hide. Okay.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
So now, where would you like, when people go to the Bed Website Club, where would you like, the link to the Hall of Fame to be featured?
So I'm thinking, check out our schedule. And here on this, no, the schedule doesn't make much sense. I think here, check out our guests, like I would say below our GitHub. Below our GitHub. So I'll just add that paragraph here. And this is pretty similar to what we've done in the past. I'm just going to copy paste this here.
I like that. I love
Oh.
copying. Uh-oh.
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our previous guests. And then this will be / Hall of Fame.
I think you'll need .md.
Ah, my bad. Thank you. Here.
So can I make a suggestion?
Please.
So also for accessibility, it's perfect when the links are well described, because if you're using an assistive device and let's say you already read the whole page and then you just want to go back to one of the links, you would ask the assistive device, hey, show me all the links. And you would get the links that are called here, 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 here. So you could actually just make the description of the link, so check out our and then previous guests. That could be already a description of the link or the whole phrase.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Because then it's not like you have a whole paragraph that is just, a link.
One big link.
Let's see whether we can actually see it on the right side.
So
where would that be? So
that would be here below. All attendees are to our code of conduct. Oh, I think I confused myself. There's a code of conduct.
I think I confused myself.
Just Mondays and Tuesdays. Did I replace the GitHub link?
I know. No. So one thing that is happening here is that because this is not a JavaScript website, you will need to manually refresh the preview. So you see above the Bed Website Club, you have the refresh icon.
Yeah.
Click on it. And now you see, check our previous guests. So what I'm trying to say that JavaScript will make your life more difficult, but also more beautiful. So you will have the instantaneous update. As had this, had there been some more tooling. But yeah, right now you can just go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just gonna do a little bit real quick because I'm a bit concerned that I can't find the GitHub. Oh, it's lower down. I'm sorry. No, I'm happy again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you can refresh.
Cool. Refreshed. And we should be good again.
Okay, awesome. So now what happens when you click on the previous guest?
Let's find out.
Oh.
Shows me a markdown. That's good, right?
Yes, I mean, yes. I've never integrated markdown file like this to the very simple website, so we can look more into what we're gonna do in a second. But first, we already introduced some changes, and so what should we do? We should bring these changes to GitHub, right? So that the next person can take this code and work on it more. So do you see the green button propose changes?
Yep. So
if you click on it, you can do commit changes. And we already know this word. That means basically just label them and so that GitHub will know what it is all about. And so this is a formal way of integrating your changes into the code base on GitHub.
Yeah, this is a pull request. We did this last week.
You know that? Okay, great.
So what we're doing is taking a chunk of changes saying like, hey, your website's really good. Here's how I think it can be even better.
Exactly. And now you can actually do it with, other websites as well.
Fantastic. So
tool.
Fantastic. So add link. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. Add a link to the.
I like that you're being descriptive. Oftentimes people just send a pull request without much description, and I think that is bad etiquette. It's nice to tell people what you're doing and how you're doing it and why. So I like that you're doing that. You
Oh
are
yeah.
adding description. Mhm.
So, but this stuff was here already. Should I leave this in?
You can, if you want. You can see how what this stuff looks like. So if you click on the preview, you will see how your pull request will look. So what happens is
Oh,
that actually we can actually show you in a second. So if you create a pull request, if you leave these things and create pull request, then
fabulous. Sorry.
yeah,
So I can create my pull request.
yes. That is not yet changing the code that is living on GitHub. This is just like an idea, you know? And so
Yeah.
right now there's a pull request, and you can actually review it. So if you click on this button, review pull request.
That's what PR is short for, right?
Yes, review PR. Oh, you have to sign into CodeFlow.
I
Yeah.
would say if it's okay with you, Sylvia, given that it's the top of the hour and I don't want to keep you any more from your time, let's would it be cool to stick with the web publisher part?
Definitely, I love that.
Yeah.
So we can merge this pull request.
Excellent. We've done that before.
Wonderful.
Cool.
And so now, yeah, that is, I like that you're doing gardening a little bit there. And so if you go back to code, you can actually,
Sorry. Oh, code. Right.
Mhm. And so now you will click on the Hall of Fame.md.
And that won't have changed.
Yes, and click on the pencil. We're gonna go to web.
Yeah, we're gonna do.
Mhm.
Fabulous.
And now you will add pr.new at the very beginning.
pr.new.
Exactly. And you can also switch off the other tabs that you have with Web Publisher, right? So you have two other tabs in your browser. Yeah, you can
Should
just
I close them?
Yeah, you can just close them.
Fabulous.
Exactly.
Excellent. Cool. So
And
that's.
you can also close the terminal because.
Oh, right. So that's starting up my website running.
Yeah, maybe it's confused because it's just a Markdown file and it doesn't know what to do with that. As I said, we were developing this tool for just more complex things. But
That's cool. Yeah. Should I refresh?
We could try, but I'm curious if it's gonna.
Because it worked before.
Yeah, it
I'll
worked
give it a refresh.
because the other file, I think, it is HTML, and I think that's why it worked. That with MD you would need some kind of like more setup for Web Publisher to actually work well with. So the long story short would be that this is perfect for editing the HTML files, and unless you have some kind of like framework that looks at the MD, the Markdown file, and can translate it into an HTML on spot, so you could actually find a package that would do that for you. Maybe then Web Publisher would be working with that. But right now it cannot because it just literally doesn't know what to do with the .md file. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, you're asking me to show you a website, but I literally don't know what to do with this .md. Like, what are those hashtags?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So the HTML, it's like no problem here, but it's just with the .md, I think it is a little bit confused because because it just doesn't know how to translate the .md to a website.
Right. So if I click now on previous guests,
go ahead. Yes,
it'll take me here.
So then it knows. It's like, okay, listen, I'm panicking, but here it is. Yeah.
So now I can sort of write my markdown. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can also hide the terminal on the right.
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, just so that it is not distracting.
Yep. Excellent. So I should be able now to have these are the wonderful people that have taught us at the Bad Website Club. I should be capitalizing. Bad Website Club. So I'll do a colon, and then I'm going to turn this into a list.
Mhm.
I use my. Do I want to use a dash list or a asterisk? I'm going to go with asterisks. Cool. So our first one is going to be Joe Franchetti.
Oh yeah, that was over. Oh yeah, I remember. That's true. Ramon, you're on so many different things that I'm just like, I no longer know which one is which. Yeah, but that's true. Joe was here. Hi, Joe.
We've had. Hold up. I'm looking at another tab here with all of the names, so I spell them correctly as well. We've had Yoav. Name I should have planned this up. We've had Yoav. I'll get his last name in just a minute. We've had Tanya. We've had Jerry. We've had. You know what? I'm gonna make my life easier. Haha. There we go. Sylvia and Gabriel.
Love it.
Right. Don't think I missed anybody. So cool. I've written out some markdown.
Congratulations. Do you want
Thank
to
you.
now see whether it works by refreshing the file, the preview on the right side?
Cool. So I'm gonna hit refresh.
And what happens? Oh, I don't know. Gabriel, do you have any tips and tricks here?
Me?
No, Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what happened to.
Well, we can actually. So even though the changes are not reflecting on the right, you can still commit your code. So
Same way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I remember this. Proposed changes. Your changes. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead. You can just commit changes.
Cool. Update Hall of Fame. And my thing will be here. Add Hall of Famers. I'm pretty sure it's a word. Add list of the folks kind enough to teach us at website. Add pull request. Awesome. So with this, we were able to sort of make additions, see them live. This is so cool that you're teaching us how to be able to like make these changes quickly and sort of propose additions to websites. So if I understood correctly, because I realize we're 15 past the hour, I don't want to keep you all longer. I'll just merge my own pull request, which, people do it. It's fine.
The more complex your page becomes, the fewer times you should merge your own pull requests. But I think that now, the world will not end if you do that. So, yes.
Yeah. Folks, I want to give everybody in the chat a chance to, Matthew says, add me to that list. Hey, you are very welcome to come and teach us something here. No. I mean, yes, you are. Sorry, I meant no as in like, let me continue that thought. Gosh. Sorry about that. So cool. With this, we were able to make these changes to our website. I would love to ask, do we have any questions for our wonderful guests here? I'm just gonna hide my screen here, bring us in a little bit more focused. I have a question. So the idea of having the ability to pull this up super quick to be like, hey, this website looks cool. I'm going to add this little bit here. Kind of like what you did the other day of CSMT of being like, hey, let me add this link real quick. Instead of getting that all wired up through bringing the code on my computer, making my changes, and then sending it back to GitHub like we did with the terminal, it sort of be like, okay, quick, preview my changes as I go, send them out. Is that right?
Yes, but yes. However, this tool, Web Publisher, shines most in, the more complex your website is, the more it shines, right? Because for simple HTML changes, sure, you could even like use like even the GitHub editor. You wouldn't be able to see how your website looks exactly. Yeah, but you know, you can trust that like a simple addition of like 5 words, you know, that it's not going to break your website. However, as your website grows more complex, there's just so many things you need to consider when you're adding anything, in this case, this is exactly where, for example, this tool would shine, I would say. So, but yes, long story short, it is definitely very helpful that it is all in your website, and you can just literally, you know, click on the file, go into edit view, and then pr.new, and bam, you have it. You can edit, you know, this file. You can see how these edits look, and then you can propose the changes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's more like you know, like a gift for your future, a favor for your future self.
I like that.
Integrate, you know, Web Publisher early, because it is going to really help you, also your users, to, you know, contribute to your website. Like, for example, we have this kind of like big documentation site where, I mean, sometimes when you're writing something and you are reading it over and over and over again, and then you're publishing, you're sure that everything is fine. Only then you realize that, oh, there are so many typos. It's because your brain already got used to the text and it's just like, you know, tuning them out. And so in this case, we could either get messages from our users, you know, and say, hey, there's a typo, there's a typo, there's a typo, or comments. Or, you know, since we integrated with Publisher, what's happening, like people are actually just sending, you know, the corrections themselves. And it's cool because everyone can just, you know, have fun and, you know, contribute to the documentation that you like. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you. And got a couple questions here that I'd love to share with all of you.
Oh, bring it on.
So
we also do have to talk about Web Publisher. You can also just ask us anything, really.
Well, we do have an anything question. CSMT is asking, Web Publisher isn't a platform to publish sites on. It's more like an editor for sites hosted on GitHub.
Yes,
Is that right?
that's fair. Yeah, not necessarily on GitHub. They can be hosted in different places, but yes, as long as the code is lives on GitHub, and soon not only on GitHub, as long as the code lives on GitHub, you can edit the website via Web Publisher.
Cool. Got our next question from Matthew asking, how did you guys get started programming? Just a small reminder, not all guys here. Yeah, sorry, please go ahead, and I'd love to hear it.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. Well, at StackBlitz, I am almost a year and a half at StackBlitz, but my career started a long time ago, like 10 years ago. So, yeah, that's it.
But how did you start? Did you like learn it yourself, or were you like building, I don't know, what was then, MySpace or something? Or were you actually already went and, I don't know, did you already go and build a computer? Because why?
I started in the college, and then while I was in the college, I didn't know anything. Like, I don't have anything learned before. Like, everything was new, and a lot of codes and commands and black screens, you know. And it started to be for me a whole new world for me, and it took some time for me to see something in my screen, you know. I started by doing a little line by line, word by word, committing and pushing, just as really small steps. But yeah, after a while, I could have something. I could not things that just works, but I could see something which is really good. I started not with in web development. I started in doing stuffs in whole low level, but yeah, here I am.
You were dealing with the real programming. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I
Everything's
really
real, but like, yeah, you were more like coding on like computers and not really websites initially.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
cool. So if my printer breaks, I can ask you.
Of course, but not your air conditioner, okay?
Air conditioner, someone else needs to be asked. Well, I went to well, I had a different career beforehand. I was in an NGO world, trying to make the world a better place. And then at some point, I moved to the US, and I realized that the NGO world looks very different than in Europe, where you have, for example, health insurance by default. And so I needed to rethink my career, and I initially tried to teach myself, but I was really overwhelmed, and sadly I didn't know, for example, Free Code Camp, and just like I was really struggling to teach myself. Like I didn't know of streams and stuff. So I went to coding bootcamp actually, and after 3 months, I was able to already do some programming, which is pretty like really shocking if you think about that. That you can pick up a skill within 3 months that's gonna change your life. So that's were my humble beginnings, which were also marked with a lot of tears initially. So I think that it's very important to have a community, and so that's why I also really appreciate all the work that you're doing here, because you're creating something really worthwhile and also a community, and that's how you really get started with something new.
I love it. Thank you. And I think it's so important to share those backgrounds and see that, no two are alike. And I think that's something really critical to bear in mind as we look into programming and making websites.
Yeah.
So I have kept you both for far longer than reasonable. You have been so kind to teach us, web publisher, teach us around the tools in order to update these websites, and I really appreciate it. Folks, if you were watching, you've been so kind to tune in, ask questions. Jess and I will be back tomorrow making more bad websites, now with the power of web publisher, which I'm super excited to do. Sylvia, Gabriel, I will ask you both for some links so that I can put these into the description of this YouTube video. But I also want to ask, if folks want to find out more about StackBlitz, where can they go to do so?
I would say, I mean, you can follow Gabriel and I on Twitter, for example, or Mastodon, and you can learn from that. Or if you really want to learn more about StackBlitz, then you can go to stackblitz.com, and that's our website. StackBlitz also has a Twitter account that you can follow. So I would definitely say stackblitz.com or follow Gabriel and I.
Gonna need those Twitter. Give me 1 second. Just gonna post out. Vargas. Let me just make sure I got that right. Yes, on Twitter.
Yes.
Perfect. All the URLs have gone out. Thank you both.
Thank you so much for having us here. Listen, this was fun. I really
I'm glad.
appreciate your work, and I really appreciate how just like what kind of atmosphere you created here. So yeah, thank you.
Much
and also,
appreciated.
a big hug to Jess.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite.
Oh, I was just showing up to get my hug.
Really
Thank you
glad.
so much for joining us. And Gabrielle, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Don't worry. I was just saying good stuff, So thanks for inviting me, and I'm really happy for being here. And yeah, stay tuned for new features on Web Publisher.
And we will
Lovely.
stay tuned to the new additions to the Bad Website Club. Can we be actually a part of that? Like, club, do you have like an ID or something, like a badge?
Like a badge. Oh no, don't make me make badges. Well, don't make me make. Nope.
Our
I
art
will
is so
add that as
nice.
an issue on GitHub.
Let's
But in the
celebrate.
meantime, if you do want to hang out and answer any questions, we'll let you in the Discord as well. There's no pressure.
Thank you. Lovely.
And as our guests, I'll go ahead and send you your speaker gift, which is I'm just going to send you my worst cat.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's enjoy.
Wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Excellent.
everybody.
See you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.